Something popped in my head the other day. It was kind of like the parallels between how crazy people have now become, like politically, generally, just how indescribably batshit the world and society has become, right? The parallels between that and those people and their insanity and pop stars of the past, right? There's a definite parallel here, right? Because it's like who are some weird pop stars, guys? Who are some people who got famous and went a little bit batshit? I mean, Michael Jackson seems obvious, doesn't it? That's the example that we sort of run to. But also David Bowie. David Bowie, as he got more and more successful, appeared to go a little bit, more and more crazy, a bit more out there. I mean, you can say he was an artist if you want, but if he had never made it as an artist, he would just be, Dave who works at the bookies, right? He wouldn't have gone that weird, is my point. Khalees. Don't know if you're familiar with her. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Right, famous R&B singer.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
From the noughties, went a bit weird. Gwen Stefani. Bieber. It's a bit fucking weird now, right? The more that they get famous, the more entitled they become, the more buoyed they are personally, socially, financially, the weirder they've become. Probably the best example is actually the Beatles, isn't it? If you look back at John Lennon in the first couple of years that the Beatles got funny, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, the interviews, the appearances that they did, Ed Sullivan, all that shit. In the first couple of years, as they're getting interviewed, John Lennon is funny. He's funny. He's upbeat. He's young. He's a bit cheeky. And then as he becomes more successful and he's more weighted on, spool forward a few years and it's, it's serious. It's drugs. It's activism. It's pretentiousness. Is there another example? I feel like I've made my point. You know what? Silverchair, right? Silverchair. I was listening to Silverchair last weekend. As I was out in the garden, mowing the grass, headphones on, Australian grunge band. First couple of albums that they put out, their interviews, their on-stage banter with each other, the backstage footage. They're having a great time. They're having a laugh with each other. They're best friends. They're just three kids in 3/4 length shorts with their skateboards, taking the piss out of each other, playing music to the masses, living their dream. But by the time that they'd split, as they've accumulated more money, they've been waited on, suddenly, the lead singer's got super serious all the time. And he appears now, or certainly over the last decade, he appears to have or have had some semi-serious dependency issues. Should we just say that? Is that vague enough? And I'm not saying this to mock him or anyone. The reason I'm bringing this up, right, these examples, is because I think there's something in it. That if you're catered to, if you're constantly validated and amped up, maybe the ego stroking, the endorphins, the validation, the adulation, constantly, maybe it does quite literally go to your head. Maybe it does something to you. Sends you a bit doolally. Maybe you get a bit carried away with it all and go crazy. Constantly, all day, every day. Fans around Michael Jackson's hotel. Michael! We love you, Michael! Maybe it does something to you. Maybe you do become less reasonable. Listening to, dissenting voices, people that disagree with you. Maybe you do become more demanding. Maybe your expectations are higher for what you're willing to put up with in arguments, in disagreements, with challenge. And so, I know what you're thinking, like, bring it back, Ed. Bring it back. What's the point here? Why are you talking about all these celebrities and singers? People have gone a bit batshit. What I was wondering the other day was like, is this why the world is so crazy now? Is it because that thanks to these apps and their algorithms and this, feeling that we are just generally, with the content that we're served, with the likes and the retweets and the reposts, the endorphin rush, like, is it because of these apps and their algorithms that we are all catered to and amped up? Like we are all our own individual John Lennons? Is that what's happening to us? Is we are all each our very own Michael Jacksons now in 2025. And with each and every like and comment and share, we go a little bit further down, a little bit deeper down that Ziggy Stardust and fucking Sergeant Pepper rabbit hole. Like, is this what's happening to us? Like Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain, without the fame and the magazines and the fans and the photographers begging him to have his picture taken and journalists desperate to get a quote from him. We just got to listen to you. We just want to hear what you have to say, Kurt. But like Kurt Cobain without the fame, Kurt Cobain without all that adulation, he would have just been some guy in a checkered shirt working in a fucking logging company in Aberdeen, Washington. That's all he would have been. He wouldn't have gone so crazy, right? Without the fame, without the adulation, without people catering to him. But the love, superficial though it was, the love and the attention was enough to send him a bit fucking nuts. I mean, it could also have been fatherhood. It could be. He seemed all right, didn't he? He seemed to quite enjoy being a star, being in a super successful band until the baby came along. I'm just saying, it's hard. It's hard. That could also have been a contributing factor. I think I used to do a stand-up bit about that, about how, like, that's how hard parenthood is. That's how hard it is having a baby. It's like Kurt Cobain had literally everything that he ever wanted. Courtney Love was his dream girl because she looked like Nancy Spungen. He got to be a rock star. He'd always wanted to be in a band and get, contrary to common belief, contrary to the myth of him hating fame, he always wanted to be in a successful band. He had this big $1 million house. But fatherhood is so hard. I think I used to do, maybe I did it on the podcast or something. I remember saying, like, fatherhood is so hard that Kurt Cobain looked at all of that and he was just like, fuck this, it's not worth it.
Just